Hi Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me, we're going to talk about kind of advice for your 25-year-old self. So let's start with, what were you doing at 25?
I was working for Sony when I was 25 as a key account manager and just moving into the marketing department at that stage.
Okay. If you could turn back time and talk to your 25-year-old self, what would you say?
You know, I've been thinking about this and it's hard, right? Recognise that life is a marathon, not a sprint, and take a little bit more time to be mindful of the long-term consequences of the decisions that you're making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But equally, don't stress or agonise over those.
Yeah.
I was probably a little bit too quick to jump from what I saw as one attractive thing to the next attractive thing, and I would counsel myself to maybe just take a step back and think about what you were going to do after the next thing you were going to do.
Okay. And in turn, what do you think your 25-year-old self would tell you as you are today?
He would probably say, if you had have slowed down, you could have sped up. And I actually think he'd probably be surprised.
Okay.
In all honesty.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd be surprised.
And just turning to kind of what the world looks like today in the future of work, did you ever see or think AI would be a part of, you know, what you do now at 25?
I never contemplated anything like this. And I think that everyone is now struggling with the same series of questions, which is, what's the implication for the workforce moving forward? What is the blending of human and digital intelligence mean for the future of work? What does it mean for the types of roles that are going to be available?
Yeah.
And what does it mean for the overall workforce? What are the social implications? And you know, I think there's some, outside of Westpac and the good work that we're doing, I reckon there are much bigger societal issues that we need to contemplate. Like, for example, people have been floating around the idea of the universal minimum income or minimum wage, and as a way of dealing with social implications of the automation of the workforce. Don't think that'll work. Economically, it's impossible to achieve. It's a good idea philosophically, but we've got to solve for a whole displaced workforce, right?
Yeah.
And these are really important, right? Because that's how revolutions start, right? When you displace large amounts of people in short periods of time, enough of them get together and are upset, and that's how you destabilise governments.
And just finally, as it's National Youth Week at the moment, do you have any advice off the back of that for the younger or generation of workforce that are coming in, the millennials?
Be curious.
Okay.
Be curious, because curiosity is the thing that will solve the puzzle, right, for all of you. You've got to stay on top of the waves, and you've got to be thinking, what are the implications for me personally? And be curious, but don't worry. Right? I mean, I don't want to stress about it. The more curious you are about the societal trends, the better off you'll be.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure.